Uh, Welcome to the Independent Black Voters as we continue our series of Know Your Candidates. I'm here with my team. Bria, how you doing today, Bria?
Hi, I'm doing good.
Yeah, Bria is the head of our Millennial Speaks, and she's here as we vet the candidates and try to find out where our vote should go. We're here with attorney Nadia. She's here. Welcome, Nadia.
Hi, Brian. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you. Tell everybody, give them your full name, tell them what department you're running for, give them a little idea what that department entails, and tell us a little bit on why we should vote for you.
Okay. I'm Nadia Krall, and I'm running for district court judge. It's a county-wide race, so anyone in the county who's a voter can vote. It's Department 4. Currently, it's an all-civil department, but the chief judge has discretion to make things all civil or partially civil, partially criminal. Right now, there aren't any judges who have an all criminal calendar. They have to have some civil just because there's so much demand for civil cases.
Gotcha. Okay. So tell us now about your background. Tell us a little bit more, like I said, about you and why you're running.
I'm from Las Vegas. I was raised here. I went to high school on the east side, El Dorado High School. I went to college here, and I went to law school here, and I've practiced here. So I love Las Vegas. For the past 12 years, I've had my own practice representing real people with real problems. How are you going to pay your mortgage or your rent? If your car breaks down, where are you going to come up with the money to fix it? I've done civil, criminal, family, consumer. I've done almost all areas of law.
Great.
And I've done it on both sides of criminal and both sides of civil.
Okay, great.
I also, oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Keep going.
I also have judicial experience. So for 4 years, I was a small claims court judge. It's a part-time position. And the majority of people in small claims court cannot afford a lawyer. But no matter what, whether you had a lawyer or you didn't, I still treated people the same way. I listened to all the evidence before coming to any conclusions. And that is one of the reasons why I'm running, because I believe that people should be heard in the courtroom. They should be able to tell their story, and that judges should treat people with fairness. When I was in small claims court, a friend of mine who was a lawyer appeared in front of me, and I had to rule against him. It was hard, but it was something I had to do. So just because that I might be friends with someone doesn't mean I'm going to rule in their favor. And I think that's what Clark County deserves, and that's why I'm running.
Right. And I totally agree with you right now. From the eyes, and this is the Independent Black Voters, from the eyes of many of the people in my community, the legal system is out of balance. It is not blind, and it's definitely not colorblind. We are looking, and we are excited about the opportunity to make a change. Now, you told me again, give me a little bit more on your background, because as I said, you said you had to come out here, and we're seeing a lot of, and I'm going to say, people who are on the side of defenders that are now coming in to make a change, because there's a realization that if we don't have a balance of defenders as judges, we don't have people that are seeing that there are two sides of each story, and it's not just lock them up, put them in jail. And we need to figure out what's the best solutions going forward. So again, tell me some more about why you decided to come. Again, and you've given me a little bit, but tell me a little bit more. And from the aspects of where you think you can give a more balanced law or bring change overall to the Clark County judicial system.
Well, from your perspective, I think one of the things that you should know about me is that the high school that I went to, it was very diverse, not just in the color of people's skin, but as far as their class, whether people were very poor or very wealthy or people in between. My first day of high school, a student was shot and killed in the cafeteria. And he was, That's the school that I went to.
Uh-huh.
That's where I come from. So I have a different perspective. I'm going to tell you a story. It's hard for me to say, but I think that you should know it because you keep asking me where I come from. And you know, it's a hard story to tell. It's something that I should. But the high school I went to was very diverse.
Mhm.
And one of the things that we did in high school is that a group of us would go to the park in the evening and just sit on the benches and talk. So one day I'm with my friends and they were all white.
Mhm.
And the police came and they said, you know, the park is closed, you have to go. You know, we weren't drinking, we weren't doing drugs, we weren't doing anything. We were just talking. And so we all just get up and left. Later on, I'm with a friend of mine who's Black. And I said, hey, why don't we go to the park? And he said, Nadia, I don't feel comfortable. I don't think it's a good idea. And I said, no, it's no big deal. We can just go to the park. We can talk. I've done it before. If the police do come, they just say, you know, the park is closed now. You know, I was 16, 17 years old. We were just kids wanting to just get out of the house in the evening. No alcohol, no drugs, nothing. He kept telling me he wasn't comfortable going to the park, and I kept pushing him. You know, it's going to be fine. Let's just go. And he finally caved, and he said, okay, we'll go to the park. And he was driving. I wasn't. And we get to the park, and we're just like with my other friends, we were sitting on the park benches just talking, and the police came. And I was expecting them to just say, you know, you have to go because it's dark now, we've closed the park. Instead, they searched him and his car from top to bottom. It was so humiliating, and there was nothing that I could do. And I knew that I, in part, caused this, but I had never seen the difference of how my white friends were treated versus my Black friends.
Mhm.
And unless you've seen it, I don't think that you can really understand the humiliation that he went through and what I was feeling standing there, not being able to help him. And one of the things that I think people don't realize, if they don't come from an area like that, they don't believe that there is discrimination.
Absolutely.
They just don't believe it. They think, well, these people are committed, therefore we need to lock them up. I had a friend of mine, she works for the government, and she had to take a bias class. And in the class, they had essays that people had written, and they gave them white names and they gave them Black names. But the essays were exactly the same. They had the same number of mistakes. It was about 7 mistakes. When people were grading the white papers, they only caught 2 or 3. Grading the Black papers, they caught almost all of them.
Mm-hmm. Are you there? Hello, we lost you.
You lost?
Okay, there you go. We can hear you for a second.
It's the coronavirus, so we're not able to.
Okay.
Biases that people have.
I don't know why, but we're getting a bad signal. We can't hear you or see you. It's locked. Hello?
It must be the Wi-Fi.
We can see you, but we can't hear you. Hello? Nadia, can you hear us? Hello? I think we lost her. Hold on.
Can you hear me?
Now you can hear you. You're back.
Okay.
Okay, so continue your story.
So people don't even realize that they have these biases, but because I come from an area where I was exposed to these things and I was in a very diverse school, I am aware of them. And I understand that it happens at all levels, and we need people who are judges who can recognize it and put that bias aside and treat people fairly, no matter if they have money or what skin color they are or what religion they are or even their gender. Because I've seen discrimination on those counts as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. Bria, you have some questions before I do?
Sure, yeah. No, I know that you said that you have had experience in almost all areas of law. I'm just wondering, what area of law do you have the most experience in?
Civil.
Okay, awesome. And what do you feel your greatest asset would be as a new judge coming in?
I'm very passionate about the law, and I'm extremely hardworking. So one of the things that I will do if I have an all civil calendar is, as a judge, you can't settle your own cases, but you can go to the judge down the hall and say, do you have some cases? I'm willing to settle them, because people want judges who's not the trial judge to try and settle their case for them. And so that is one of the things that I will try and do, because I've done a lot of settlements. And one of the great things about settlement is that you have control. Whether you're being sued, this is in a civil case, or you're the one who is seeking monetary award, both parties have control over the outcome. If you give it to a jury, you're asking, in a civil case, 8 strangers to decide your fate. And a lot of people, they want to have control when they come into the courtroom. They want to have some sense that this is their system and that they can have a say. And in civil cases, when you allow the parties and you make yourself available and you volunteer to try and resolve other cases, people really appreciate that, because then they have closure and they have been a part of the process.
Great. Good questions, Bria.
Thank you. The last question that I have is, I know that you are for District Court Department 4. That's not one of the new courts, right?
Correct.
So do you feel that there's currently need for improvement on that seat specifically? And how are you going to improve what you're seeing is necessary?
I'm going to read everything. One of the major criticisms that people have about judges is that they're underprepared when they walk into the courtroom, or that they don't actually look at the law before making a decision. And that's one of the things that I will do if elected.
Great. Nadia, I like the fact, again, this is the independent Black voters, and the things you said are correct. All of us have inherent biases. Everybody here, myself, you, when you realize that you have biases, then you can control those biases. It's interesting. When a person says to me, I don't see color, that means you don't see your biases. When a person realizes that we are a rainbow, love the rainbow, then you can basically realize where your shortcomings are. And we are looking to bring in a new set of judges that understand that this is a diverse society. It's not the 50s. It's not the 40s. We're not trying to make America good and great again. We're trying to make America great in the future. And that comes with balanced law. That comes with addressing the income inequalities they are, because many of the issues that you deal with come directly back to the inequalities of our economic system. And my hope is that people like yourselves will not just help us get a balanced judicial system, but also help us look at different levers that we can pull to bring about more of equal, not just equal justice, but equal economics and equality, because they all work hand in hand.
I agree with that. We have some specialty courts here in Clark County. One of them is Veterans Court. Another is Mental Health and Drug Court. There are other courts that other places have, such as Homeless Court. These are things that can be explored, and it's not just with judges, it's with the legislature.
Absolutely.
Because the legislature is the one who creates the laws. And a judge's role, let's say in Veterans Court, is not to punish. It's really to try and put that veteran on the road to success. And at the end of the day, I really believe we all want the same things. We all want to be able to provide for our family, and we want to be safe. And reducing crime, to me, is very important. And if we can have systems in place that reduce crime, that protects the community and helps people who may have drug or alcohol addictions or mental health problems, it's a win-win.
Absolutely.
And
Well, yep, absolutely. Go for it. Keep going.
and that's, I don't know if I'm going to be in an all civil department, but because I have criminal experience, if the chief judge will put me, if elected, to half criminal, half civil, but I'll be ready on day one to handle both.
Okay.
And that's why I'm running. I really treat people with respect, because when you walk into a courtroom, 50% of the time you're going to lose. One party has to win and one party has to lose.
Yep.
The only thing that you want to be guaranteed of is that you had a fair hearing and that you were listened to 100%. And you can walk out of there knowing, you know what, I may disagree with the judge's decision, but I understand why she ruled that way.
Yes, absolutely. Well, Nadia, if you have noticed, hopefully you saw our endorsement video we just put out. I talked to you prior to this because we had some time constraints and need to get some things out. And I'm glad we're getting a chance to do a Zoom cast with you also. The independent Black voters, we are endorsing you. We want to work to bring in a string of lawyers that are now going to become judges that will strengthen the overall judicial system. We have to get rid of the old ways. And with our endorsement comes high expectations. We expect to have equal justice under the law. We expect to have people that will fight to make sure that not only are they non-biased, but you know, the toughest thing is to talk to your peers sometimes if you're seeing biases and letting them know. And I'm going to tell you, I saw something that says, you know, a shirt that says silence is violence. And the truth of the matter is, we have to have judges that not only are going to put themselves in check, but are going to be committed to put the system in check too, so that we start to see equal justice. Many people don't realize that the cost of incarceration is phenomenal. I mean, we should be spending that money on other things other than putting people in jail. And if we could ever connect the dots that there are better ways to treat our society as our brothers' keepers as versus our brothers' prison keepers. We have to go forward with people like you. So again, we're endorsing you. I'm going to ask you to give us your best pitch right now. Give them all your information again, what you're voting, what your
Running.
department is, what you're running for, who you are, your contact information, and why we should vote for you.
I'm Nadia Krall, and I'm running to be your district court judge in Department 4. Anyone in the county can vote for all of these district court judge races, no matter what the number is. It's really just a courtroom number. My website is nadiaforjudge.com. It has videos there. It has debate videos with the other candidates in this department, so people can make not just a decision, but an informed decision.
Yes.
And that's all that I ask for, is that when you cast your ballot, you make an informed decision on who you feel is the best judge for Department 4. And the mail-in ballots are going to be mailed out on approximately May 1st, and you have until June 9th to return it, and you have to sign it. So I appreciate you being an active member of the voting population, and I appreciate the opportunity to speak to you.
And we appreciate you. Folks, we are putting out our endorsement. It's our sample ballot with our endorsed people on there. Please take the minute to look at it. We must vote in a lot of good judges if we want to have good law. As was said by Nadia, you'll receive your ballot. Be an informed voter, vote. tell your friends. Don't just inform yourself, inform your friends. Because if you want true justice, you must vote. And again, I'm introducing Bria. Bria is our millennial speak. She's going to be rolling out her own talk show that is going to be focused on millennials, finding out what's going on. But we're going to start a little of this with some political stuff as we go forward. But tell us in your own words, Bria, what you think now about voting and the importance of voting.
Well, I definitely realize now a lot more than I even did last year that voting is extremely important and our vote does matter. Before even getting into politics and talking to attorneys and judges and things like that, I did not realize just how we can make a change. We do have a voice and our votes actually do matter. So much you hear from people, or at least I know I've heard from people that, you know, if you vote, it doesn't matter, you know, whoever's going to win is going to win anyway. And that's not true. We do have a voice and we do have power to choose who goes into the seats in any election. So I've definitely learned a lot for myself. I'm excited to share with more people my experiences, and as well as getting people more informed in my community, because a lot of people that I know don't know and don't even care to know. So when I put it out there, it makes it, you know, a lot easier.
Well, thank you, Bria, and thank you, Nadia. This is the Independent Black Voters Speak. We're changing the game, folks. Somebody's got to step up to the plate. Somebody's got to come up and say, look, it's time for change. So in closing, I encourage you, when you get your votes, get your ballots May 9th, that you vote and that you tell your 10 friends to vote. And also tell them to go to www.bbtvnews.tv if they would like to find out who the candidates are. Thank you again, Nadia. This is the Black Book Media with the Independent Black Voters signing off. Peace.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye.
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 Okay. All right.